Daniel Day-Lewis has returned to acting after 8 years and stating he was retiring. The established actor, 68, made his acting return in his 27-year-old son Ronan's directorial debut, Anemone. Daniel also co-wrote the screenplay for the psychological drama with his son. He stars as Ray Stroker, a troubled former soldier who lives in voluntary solitude in the forest of northern England. His brother, Jem Stroker Sean Bean, finds him and tries to get him to return home. The reunion between the two brothers brings hidden secrets and long-buried traumas to the surface. The rest of the cast for Anemone includes Samantha Morton, Samuel Bottomley, and Sophia Oakley Green. The film first hit its world premiere at the 2025 New York Film Festival on Sunday, September 28th, and then a limited theatrical release in the United States on Friday, October 3rd. Following the limited release, Anemone had its nationwide expansion in theaters on Friday, October 10th. The film will be released in the United Kingdom on Friday, November 7th. Read more. Anemone Review. Daniel Day-Lewis returns to acting for Son's Nepo Baby Pet project. The There Will Be Blood star's last appearance on the big screen was Paul Thomas Anderson's Phantom Thread in 2017. At a press conference at New York Film Festival NYFF, he talked about what it was like to return to acting after so long, noting, "It's kind of coming back to the work I love. I felt that I had a vocation at a very early age, as a child, that was going to be my future one way or another, for better or worse, and I hoped that I would remain working for some time. And yeah, I have taken time away from it," he added. Daniel joked about being accused of retiring twice and said, "It would never occur to me to use the word retirement." Daniel's first retirement was in 1997 to 2000, when he became an apprentice shoemaker in Florence, Italy. At the festival, he talked more about coming back to the acting profession and how he had to do it for the opportunity of working with his son. "After the last film I made, it's been very low spirits. I made a FG fool of myself by, announcing that I was going to stop working," he added. "And, probably a bigger fool of myself by coming back, but to deny myself the possibility of working with Ronan and just to stand on my pride. I think that would have been, probably a worse decision than just, well, I said that, so I'm sticking to it," Daniel said. Why did Daniel Day-Lewis retire initially? Back in June 2017, Daniel had announced he would no longer be working as an actor. This was before his film, Phantom Thread, was due to hit theaters on Christmas of that year. In the statement, written on behalf of his spokesperson Leslie Dart, there was no reason for why he was no longer acting. The statement, which confirmed he quit acting, said, "Daniel Day-Lewis will no longer be working as an actor. He is immensely grateful to all of his collaborators and audiences over the many years. This is a private decision, and neither he nor his representatives will make any further comment on this subject." The Oscar-winning, known for method acting, opened up a bit more on his decision to stop acting to W Magazine in November 2017. "I haven't figured it out," he said about his decision to walk away. "But it's settled on me, and it's just there. Not wanting to see the film, Phantom Thread, is connected to the decision I've made to stop working as an actor. But it's not why the sadness came to stay. That happened during the telling of the story, and I don't really know why. I knew it was uncharacteristic to put out a statement, but I did want to draw a line. I didn't want to get sucked back into another project. All my life, I've mouthed off about how I should stop acting, and I don't know why it was different this time. But the impulse to quit took root in me, and that became a compulsion. It was something I had to do," he added. What has Daniel Day-Lewis recently said about his decision to quit acting? Since promoting Anemone, Daniel has talked about returning to acting and reflecting on his initial decision to quit in 2017. In an interview with Rolling Stone and his son in September, he mentioned how there was just kind of a low-level fear and anxiety about re-engaging with the business of filmmaking. "The work was always something I loved. I never, ever stopped loving the work, but there were aspects of the way of life that went with it that I'd never come to terms with. From the day I started out to today, there's something about that process that left me feeling hollowed out at the end of it. I mean, I was well acquainted with it," Daniel stated. "I understood that it was all part of the process and that there would be a regeneration eventually. And it was only really in the last experience, making Phantom Thread, that I began to feel quite strongly that maybe there wouldn't be that regeneration anymore, that I just probably should just keep away from it because I didn't have anything else to offer," he said. He went on to say that looking back he should have kept his mouth shut since he never intended to really retire and that he just wanted an opportunity to work on something else for a while. In his New York Times profile, published October 3rd, Daniel shared how he began co-writing anemones several years ago during his retirement. He had anticipatory sadness about not working with Ronan when he made films, since Daniel wasn't sure he would find his way back to acting. So he suggested the two attempt to cook something up for its own sake. He further explained about the feeling that led him to quitting acting after Phantom Thread. Daniel elaborated to the outlet, "I was at a very low ebb, not because of the work that I'd just done, but because of those doubts about my capacity to be part of that public world, which seemed more vivid than ever. So I thought, I need to make a statement to myself. I was really talking to myself. Don't do this again." It sounds like the moaning of privilege, and I can see that. I do feel immensely privileged to be allowed to do my work as an actor. And I understand the invisible contract you sign when you agree to do that work is that you are going to participate in the entirety of what that will involve. But I have never yet found a way of living with the public aspects of it, he added. Daniel expressed that he would face the public component of acting again than deny himself a chance to work with his son. He expressed pride in Ronan and the work they got to do together. "I'm proud to have had that time with my son to do this work. It's his first time in the park with this, so his nerves are frayed and my nerves are frayed for different reasons. But we'll go through this part of the process together, and we'll do it with tremendous gratitude because I'm very, very glad that we were allowed this opportunity. And I know that in a few months' time, I'll be looking for my quiet place again," he stated.